BMNation.com.
I forgot to bring water. Oh.
All natural being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Welcome to All Natural Being. I'm Brian. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. We're live today, 11 a.m. Eastern. Also, again, we'll have the rebroadcast at 5 p.m. and then again at 8 p.m. So I want to take an opportunity to thank you once again, especially the kindred. If you're new to the audience, you might not consider yourself a kindred, but if you have been here for a while, you know you are. Special welcome to the kindred. All those people on the cusp. I love this term. My friend, I shouldn't tell me I could use her name, so I'll probably wait and get her permission, but on the cusp of greatness, right? We're right there. We're on the edge. We're ready to go. That's what the show is all about. It's a show about you. Not the watered-down version of you, not the timid, not the apathetic, swing, whiff, yawn. Not that version of you, the all-natural version of you. The all-natural version before all the craziness. That's all we're looking for in each and every show, is to remind ourselves who we ultimately are. We're in this together, and it truly is an honor to be your tag team partner, to be your shotgun, to be the person that you take the baton from, so that as you go through your day, you get to channel your all-natural being, the very best parts of yourself. Which is why I say, is today going to be the day you get your grade out? Is today going to be that day that you go in, instead of saying, oh, one day I'll be happy, one day I'll be fulfilled, one day I'll be successful. You're here to be a headliner. So I guess this is a two-part question. Is today the day you write that headline? Part A. Part B, what's that headline going to be? Will it read at the end of the day, when you write your headline, that in fact you did go in and get your great out? And I probably should mention this. Oh, before we get too far ahead, 331-684-7685, 331-684-SOUL. And I suspect, I guess, I'm told, I'm supposed to tell you, standard texting something applies, right? I don't get any of it, but just if you're close on your texting minutes, apparently that counts as a text. So just keep that in mind as you do it. 331-684-7685. Excuse me. Or you can head over to allnaturalbeing.com. You can head over to getyourgradeout.com. Or let me see, Reviving Superhumans, Unlocking Metahumans. You get where I'm going with this. You can head over there, leave me an email. I'll email you one back. Oh, and you can hit me up on Facebook at Brian Brawdy Official, or on Twitter at Brian Brawdy. You could do it that way, because I don't think texting fees apply there. I don't think they do. I don't know. But look, the last thing I am is a telephone expert on all this. I'm an expert at giving them a boatload of money and then keeping my fingers crossed that the calls will actually connect when I need them to. I'm an expert on that. If I can help, let me know. But all right, so be careful. Oh, here's another disclaimer. As you well know, let me see. I'm not a politician. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I am not a therapist, a licensed clinical anything. I'm not a guru. I'm not a life coach. I'm not a self-help industry technician. I would be technician. Yeah, a technician is when you blend tactics of a technician. But the acronym is still the same. Self-help industry technician. Not one of those people calling for the higher consciousness cartel. Motivation industrial complex. Because I'm here to remind you, that's all I am. I'm like am I allowed to say cattle prod? I can't tell anymore what I'm allowed to say. What's offensive to people? But let's just do it this way. It's my goal every day to offend people. Right? I got the greatest gig in the world, because you want to know my estimation of it? You can only be offended if you're offendable. And when you challenge the people out there, when you think sharply, when you think like you mean it, when you channel your all-natural being, you got nothing to worry about. Which leads us directly to our anaerobic aphorism for today. Why get trapped in the trivial? Because when we remember who we really are, all worry is petty. I heard someone say, well, do you have any petty worries? Well, all worry is petty. If you're in this moment, which is why I say all the time, we talk about inner orienteering. It's been really popular now. And I'm not going to throw them under the bus. Everyone's got their own shtick, right? Everyone's got their own thing. But there's some terms out there now. Inner engineering, consciousness engineering, all these other blanks, engineering. And that's the latest and the greatest. That's what's going to teach everything. But my question has always been, engineer what? You can't even tell where your thoughts come from. How are you going to engineer what you can't control? Ever have a thought in your mind just pop up and you go, where the hell did that come from? Well, if you can't tell me where it came from, you're on a great list because there isn't a neuroscientist alive that can tell you where that thought bubbled up from. Not a one. None of them. None of them. So you're on a great list if you can't tell me where that thought in your mind that just popped in, that one right there, just now, where it came from. You're on a great list. You got some good company. Nobody can. So how can you engineer what you don't even know how it started in the first place? So that's why I just call it inner orienteering. We orient ourselves to those thoughts that pop up in the moment, and then we decide, okay, now that I know what's going on here I am, life in the labyrinth, garden of the mortals. Inner orienteering is going, that's interesting. That thought popped up. Is there any value to it? Can I use it? Nope. Leave it alongside of the road. Put it in the rearview mirror. Throw some gravel. I love that. If I ever get a sound effect, well, one, if I ever figure out how to add sound effects here, and then two, if I ever get that sound effect incorporated, it's going to be the sound of a car throwing gravel. That sound that it makes. Oh, thank you, 331-684-7685, 331-684-SOUL. Just had a friend of mine text me, you know what my thought is right now? Bacon. Well, you want to know how crazy I am? I thought she had texted me beacon. Because I was going to go, she's absolutely right. Let's be our own beacon. Not thinking about beacon, she's thinking about bacon, right? So that's orienteering. Here's the thought that popped into my mind. And I thought, inner orienteering, there's a beacon. There's something that calls to your attention, and you decide in that moment what you're going to do with it, even if that thought is bacon. Now she's got me thinking about like a bacon breakfast sandwich. Oh, talk about a rabbit hole. I got to focus. Hashtag bacon or hashtag beacon. So you get my point. Everyone wants you to engineer. You can't engineer anything. You and me, neither one of us can. Fate just goes, here's what I'm going to throw at you. But what we can do, and I guess to a certain degree, maybe teeny bit of engineering, what we can engineer is our response to whatever happens to us in the labyrinth. The lefts, the rights, the ups, the downs, the pivots, the swerves, the lunges, the lapses. Never a dead end, only a cul-de-sac. When you have the courage for around the corner, even though you and I can't see around the corner. When we have the courage to go in and get your great out. When you decide, well, you know what? I think Brian, as crazy as he sounds at times, I think I am here. I think I am a rare breed. I think I am elite. I think I am special. I think I am here to work the red carpet. I think I am a rock star. Jen Sincero might say a badass. I think I am all those things. Great. So what will your headline be today? When you fall asleep tonight and you go over the top 10 things, since we're name dropping, let's drop Letterman, right? We stole his the top 10 list. What are the top 10 things you're going to be thankful for when you fall asleep tonight? Could it be that the headline that you're going to accept responsibility for, could it be that headline is something to be thankful for? And what is that headline? You don't have to wait till tonight to be falling asleep going, 1, 2, 3. I use my fingers just to let you know, right? I count to 10. Who doesn't use their fingers? I count to 10, the top 10 things that I'm thankful for. Because you are here to work the red carpet. You are a rock star. And you're all natural being. That dynamic core that is always you. I don't care what your pursuit might be, whether it's personal, athletic, entrepreneurial, professional, whatever it is. We hear all the time, Csikszentmihalyi's book, Flow. Everyone wants to be in the flow. Everyone wants to be in the zone. The zone, the flow, the zone. What is that? Connection to your all-natural being. Think about it. What's the flow? Oh, well, the mind just seems to shut down. Ooh, well, I got you. Your all-natural being. What's it mean to be in the zone? Oh, everything just seemed to slow down around me, and it was me in the moment. All-natural being. When you reconnect to who you truly are, the trivial just seems like, right? You have dry skin, you look down. Oh, maybe if you have dandruff, you go like this and you brush it off your shoulders. Or you get something on your feet. That's what welcome mats are for. You're supposed to wipe your feet before you go into someone's house, maybe even take your shoes off. But if you go to wipe your feet, you just kind of wipe it off. Ever been to a golf course? They got that little thing where you can clean your cleats. That's all we're talking about. Why get trapped in the trivial? Clean your cleats. What did Gandhi say? Don't let anyone walk through your mind with dirty feet. Clean your cleats. Because when you remember who you really, truly are, all worry is petty. All worry. What's there to get so worked up about? Our anaerobic aphorism for today. When it doesn't count, it's of no account. And if it doesn't count, if it can't treat you like a pincushion, because you're not going to let it, if you don't let it in, if you're not a co-conspirator, as you and I discuss all the time, if you're unhappy, you're unfulfilled, you're unsuccessful, you feel unloved, you're un-whatever, you're a co-conspirator. Because your all-natural being, what sits at your core, it's ready to go. It says, oh no, this is the home of happiness. Maybe that's how we use a beacon. Because the banal, as I said over on my friend page, the banal is an invasive species. It's not naturally occurring in your brain. When we get bored, when we get listless, as we talked about yesterday, killing time is just killing life. Time and life are the same thing. Oh, I'm just killing time. But when you have a sense of apathy in your life, when you forget who you truly are, and you want a wild ride, just as an aside, anytime you have an opportunity, let's say you have 5 minutes of life, right? You've got some spare time, some spare life that you're going to use. Go on to Google, Bing, whoever the search engines are. Figure out. And just study any one aspect of the human body, the connectedness of all things. And if you go, oh, well, I hear that, then for 20 minutes, a part of a 20-minute victory, study what hearing really is. What it means when you say, I see something. And then just give yourself, maybe like, if I take a 20-minute victory, 15 minutes, do a little bit of the research, because believe me, you're going to spend the last minute, the last 5 minutes for certain. You're going to spend those last minutes thankful that you were given hearing or sight or taste or sound. You're going to be thankful that you were given any of that in the first place. Because I think we take ourselves for granted. We take the way our body works for granted. You say, I walked to the mailbox. I walked to the taxi cab. I walked to the train. I walked out into the backyard. What the body has to do even to be able to walk? What the body has to do to be able to taste something? The connectedness? How there's a story out, a report out, a study out this morning talking about all the different things that have to happen to get a group of neurons to fire so that you can even think in the first place. You want excitement? You want to be thrilled? Just try it. As I say all the time, don't take my word for it, right? Just like the Buddha said. Right? No matter how, how popular a person might be, no matter how certain they seem. That was the focus of yesterday's show. All these researchers, all the research studies, all the different things going on. And in some of the biggest ones in psychology for 20 years, everyone's been running around, pounding the psychological pulpit, selling their books, doing their speeches. Guess what? They were all crazy. Bat crap crazy. Doesn't work. Didn't happen. So ultimately, you're the one that decides. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm a huge fan of free speech. But the other end of that spectrum, flip side of the coin, is that I'm also a huge fan of free hearing. You're free to hear whatever you want. If someone's got something crappy to say, you're free not to hear it. So now there's a big thing online. Oh, we need, what is it, censor? There's a word. We need to censor what people say on Twitter. We need to censor what people say on Facebook. We need to censor social media. And they're focusing on one end, all the stuff that people are throwing out there. Well, I say you and I could just censor what we hear, right? We could censor the decision to want to be a pincushion today. Oh, yeah, I think I'd love to suffer the slings and arrows. Keep them coming. Or we could go, yeah, you know what? I really don't care about your opinion. I'm not going to be insulted by you. I'm not going to be offended. I'm not going to take offense like I'm stealing a cookie off a plate. I'm not going to take offense. I'm not going to let it happen. Oh, well, we just can't stand for that. All this new war bubbling up now on social media about how we should censor. I ask people all the time, please, I'm begging you, make Harelip jokes. Call me a Mick. Just please post anything you like. Say anything you want to about me. Because you know what? As I read it and I hear it, you know what I hear? Crickets. Sound of crickets. See, wouldn't that be a great sound effect if I could add that in right now? Crickets. That's what I hear. That's what you should hear. Because ultimately, all the opinions of all the experts in your life, the walking, talking, Venus flytraps. Oh, come on over here. Isn't it nice and colorful inside my delusion? Come on right over. As soon as you get in, they got you. The movable pits of quicksand, all the experts around in your life, ultimately, you're going to be held accountable for your decisions. Not how much you dovetailed with the hide, with the herd, but your decisions. We talk about it from time to time. And those final moments, whenever those moments come, and I hope it's a long, long time. But when those final moments come, you're going to be asked one question. Was I me? Me. Real me. Not the papier-mâché version. What is it? A collage where everyone else's opinions of what you are get to act like a collage. You're like packed, like in bubble wrap of other people's brainiac ideas. Thank you very much, 331-684-7685. I have to say this to you. Someone just called me incorrigible. So please keep them coming. I had to go and see a doctor the other day. These ear, nose, and throat specialists. And this, I don't know if you have, I don't know if you have a facial scar or if you have a particular look that you think people are drawn to when they see you. They see this particular look. So it always happens. I go into the doctor, and ears, nose, and throats people look at me and like go, well, hello. Where have you been my whole life? Right? Come here often? Right. So I walk into an ears, nose, and throat specialist. Lovely doctor. Seemed like a nice woman. If I'm still allowed to say woman. Seemed like the nice woman. And she goes, oh, anyone ever talk to you about plastic surgery? And honest to goodness, do you know what I thought? My first thought was, for what? She goes, oh, well, you know, we can do all kinds of things with Harelips these days. And I thought to myself, that makes sense, right? I got a Harelip, all right. But she was serious. So forget the reason that I had gone to see her. What we wanted to focus on is, oh, you know, we can take away that Harelip. Now, I don't know if you have a Harelip or if you have some physical characteristic that you're like, you know, it wasn't the greatest thing. It's not like I said, oh, thank God, I got a Harelip. Pretty sure my parents, when I was born, they were like, oh, he's a little tough on the eyes, right? But I survived. They stitched me up a few months later, whatever they did, way back when. I'm a few years younger than Moses, not many. Right? But way back when they fixed Harelips, that's what they did to me. That's what I had left. But when I listened to this woman speak, I thought, why would I have plastic surgery? First, I'd really have to care about what other people think about how I look. I have an idea. If you don't like the fact that my nose, right, and my spine for that matter, apparently I got a little curvature there too, that my nose is flat on one side. I will tell you, being a little kid, having a nose flat on one side, having a hair lip, having everyone walk around going, "Hello, Brian." They push on the nose and make fun, right? Even though I never sounded like that, I don't think they made fun of me. It was the beginning of me studying martial arts, right? Just because I had to defend myself against the bullies. It was the beginning of me being able to walk into a crowd, whether it's 2 people or 20,000, be able to walk in front of a crowd and say pretty much anything that pops into my mind. So let me ask you, are there some of those things that you have? Are there some of those things you're like, well, it's not the greatest aspect, right? Like I could get rid of this. Maybe you have a mole. Remember that Austin Powers movie? Mole. You got a mole, you got a hair lip. What do you got? What do you got that you're not liking? Right? Then for me, I go, well, why not? Thank you very much. I just got another text. If you are as old, a little younger, I suspect that's what they meant. If you're a little younger than Moses, that makes you Aaron, which is so freaky because just before we came on air, I got a Facebook friend request from a guy named Aaron. See how this life in the labyrinth works? See how everything's connected? I'll go another 6 months without having the name Aaron pop up twice. Unless, of course, my friend Aaron calls. But other than that, it pop up twice in the space of now 22 minutes. But here's the thing. Do you have something about you that you let other people get under your skin? Literally, get under your skin. When we talk about body shaming, I guess that's a big thing now as well. Body shaming. Why? It isn't body shaming. Let's just be honest with each other. It's only you and me, right? So it's just us listening. Body shaming is just you and me shaming. People can't shame us unless we sign for the package. We can't be ashamed unless we're a co-conspirator. We can't be. Which is why, you're not allowed to say offensive things on Twitter because that really hurt my feelings. Where are your feelings? Like at a safety deposit box and you gave somebody the key? What are your feelings? Are there still antennas anymore on cars? I don't know. But like, is your feeling up? Oh, so sorry. But we can take text, 331-684-7685, 331-684-SOUL. And let me also say, friend of mine, I just got 331-684-7685. Someone said, seriously? I thought that scar was from like some military encounter or some bar fight. No, but the skin cancer, a scar that I have when they had to remove the last, I get skin cancer like every 35 minutes. But one of the skin cancers they had to remove, this is probably more than anyone ever wanted to know, but the skin cancer scar lines up perfectly with the scar on my hair lip. So I've got like a 4-inch scar stacked up, top of the lip, bottom of the lip. And sometimes if people ask, what happened? I tell them I was ice climbing in the Himalayas and the ice axe ricocheted back, caught me in the face. That gets me some street cred. Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. It bled like you wouldn't believe. Oh, man, just ricocheted back. I wasn't paying attention. What are you going to do? 331-684-7685, 331-684-SOUL. I really do appreciate the text. Let me know what you're thinking. Thank you so very much. And if I ruined it for you, no, I'm not that. No military endeavor. I mean, I hit with a 2x4 one time, but that had more to do with an excursion in a bar than on a military campaign. But that's another story. So I really do appreciate the text. Send them to me. We'll go ahead and incorporate them into the show. Here's all I wanted to say about this. Why do we shame ourselves? Other people go, body shaming, or we have to guard against what other people say because it could be injurious. Well, then, let's not raise our kids. Let's not let our family and friends. Let's not let the people in our labyrinth that we love. Let's not let them sit around and wallow in this concept of the words of another human being are somehow injurious. There's sometimes with some of the stuff that comes in via email, comes in via texts, and people are just being hypercritical. I think of the sound of Charlie Brown's mom. Now, if you're not as old as I am, which apparently is Aaron's age, if you haven't celebrated your 49th birthday for a handful of times, a big handful, like 2 handfuls, talk about counting to 10, Not really. Well, right? But if something like that has ever happened to you, if you're old enough like I am to remember, you know what I think of? The sound of Charlie Brown's mom. Anyone remember that? Now, all the people that say, well, Bri, you live in your own little world, all I'm simply suggesting is sometimes I get great critique. I have friends whose opinion is really valuable to me, especially some of my friends that are friends and also professional acquaintances that say, oh, did you think of this? Did you think of that? And I'm like, man, I am not the sharpest knife in the drawer, am I? But then I go, oh, yeah, I'm thinking about it now. I'm stealing that. I'll show you how quickly I make that idea my own. And so I incorporate it in my daily life, I'm sure. Do you have situations like that? But you also have situations where people are just being mean to be mean. People are trying to get under your skin. Do you know why? Because they know they can. Because they know they can. And that's why they try. Because they can't get into their own hearts. They can't get into their own thick heads. So what are they going to do? They're going to try to get under our skin. And, you know, you be compassionate. You can listen to people for a little while, and then you go, you know what? I have a, what is it? If you go onto the FDA, what is the daily required minimum daily allowance of something or other? Well, then I just look at them and go, have a good day. And then I think to myself, I've had my required daily allowance of bat crap crazy. Thank you. I'm done. Appreciate it, though. Yeah. Oh, another thing I want to share with you. The other day, I couldn't think of a term where I kept talking about ancient wisdom. Remember, and I said, oh, today, and I said, oh, is it spiritualism? You know what the term was? I couldn't believe it. Someone said to me, how did you forget this? And they said, oh, it's New Age. I'm like, yeah, you're right. How did I forget the term New Age? You know, blending old wisdom with New Age wisdom. I'm like, oh, New Age? That's always been a thought that's been a little freaky to me. What New Age? It's old age stuff. The ancient wisdom that modern science is now confirming. Those things that would go, wow, I guess those spiritual people, they weren't all that crazy after all, were they? What makes it new then? I like, here's my new term. I'm going to call it the archaic age, the ancestral age. Primordial age would be good. The pristine age, or we could just call it all natural being. Yes. 331-684-7685, 331-684. So, okay, I'm really going to work to learn how to do this telephone thing because these need to be calls. Yes, someone just guessed my correct age, and I'm apparently a little younger than Aaron. All right, so why get trapped in the trivial? When we remember who we really are, there's anything else another human being can say about us that's going to derail us unless we hand them the crowbar. They can't pry us off our foundation. They can't unlock us from who we ultimately are unless we give them the tools, unless we give them the techniques to get under our skin, to trap us in their trivial. But when you remember who you are, you'll remember. You'll go, oh, you know what? He was a little hyped up, but he's right. All worry is petty. We'll be right back.
You're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. How much longer will you let them hijack your head and your heart?
All right, so that's what we're talking about today. Hijacking your head and your heart. So I want to start off with an article that I saw over on CNN.com. So what I'm trying to do now, because you know what? You ever been on one of these websites where you get on and 3 seconds later the movie, a video starts to play? You can hear one kicking in right now. A video starts to play, and then if you scroll down, another video starts to play, and it's fascinating to me because advertisers think that this is a good idea. But no one wants, what do they call those? Calls? What do they do that now you can block? Like a sales call. When someone calls in, a sales call? Marketing call? Something like that. A cold call? Whatever. You pick up your phone. Would you be interested in a lifetime supply of soap detergent? No, thank you. I wouldn't. Or you're having dinner. You're eating. You're doing something that you want to do, and there's a knock on the door. Oh, yeah? Oh, my favorite, people look at the condition of my front yard and go, oh, would you need some of this? You need some of that. Wouldn't you, so we have this special program that I go, I'm eating dinner. No, thank you. I'm not interested. Robocalls, that kind of thing. But apparently everyone thinks, oh, we all dislike, I forgot the term again. We all dislike sales calls coming in on our phones. We all dislike knocks on the door. Like, no one eats dinner that time of day, right? No one's having family time that time. Please knock on the door. I'm only eating. Why would you interrupt that? But now online, same thing happens. And these advertisers go, we'll find them online. We'll make them watch our stuff. We'll get them. And then I think, wait a minute. They haven't realized that that's as annoying as knocking on my door during dinner or calling me all hours of the day to sell me encyclopedias. All right, I don't want to get down another rabbit hole. I'll never come back. Well, apparently we're going down the rabbit hole now, because here's another thing. You go online, you ever see some of these commercials where they'll give you the ability, like if they haven't caught you in the open 7 seconds, you get to click off. You ever get some of these other commercials where they start to play and you have to sit there like being sat at a family function next to your uncle that doesn't get out much, so all he wants to do is talk your ear off? Ever go onto a website and see commercials like that? Here's my thought. Oh, there's only one thing that's more aggravating, and that's when you see a headline, you click on, and they'll give you the first 3 sentences and then tell you, oh, well, if you want to read more, here's a subscription. So I think to myself, why do these feeder services even publish these articles? Because they're not really articles. It's just a hook. It's a tease. It's clickbait. But, oh, no, let's do this. So I don't read those articles either. I know, I'm a horrible human being. But this one, don't start. Don't do it again. I already clicked you off once. This article I found very interesting for one particular event. They were talking about a scientist that was able to recreate in his own laboratory, able to recreate an audio black hole. Right? Busy black holes running around the universe, gobbling up everything that isn't nailed down, even stuff that is nailed down. Gobbling up everything, nothing escapes, event horizon, not even light makes it out. You know where we're going with this, right? So he's been able to replicate this with sound. But what was fascinating about this to me, and why I wanted to make sure to kick it around with you today, is the same thing we talked about yesterday. He goes, yeah, I was in my lab looking for something else, and all of a sudden I stumbled on this. So now, with nearly, over 3 decades, over 30 years of study, here's one of the things that scientists really don't want you to know. There's a good bit more serendipity. There's a good bit more synchronicity. There's a good bit more impromptu chance that goes into these eureka moments than they're willing to admit. Because the scientists, not all of them, not sweeping everyone under the same rug, but some of them are like, here's what I discovered. Brilliant. Oh, how do I get my head in a hat most days of the winter? Oh, they don't want to tell you that they stumbled on it by accident. Oh, I was busy looking for the perfect guacamole recipe, and I stumbled across black holes. So, even in the scientific life, in the realm where everyone's like, oh, yes, look at us, we have figured this out. No, not really. More times than not, they were looking for something else and they stumbled on it. There used to be a book, and let me look over there now. Is it still there? I don't see it. It's years old, but it was a book about chance occurrence on how things pop up. And the one that jumps to mind is like cornflakes. Cornflakes weren't supposed to be cornflakes, or car tires. They were looking for something else, and they go, oh, this rubber, we can make wheels out of it. Really? You think? Well, yeah, I'm thinking so, because it's this bamboo or whatever we're doing over here. That doesn't seem cool. Well, great. Well, why don't we make car tires out of them? That's a fantastic idea. Oh, hey, before we do, let's let everyone know we were looking for the formula to make car tires, right? Because that'll help build the mystery. That'll help keep the motif alive. It doesn't happen that way. So if it's good enough for scientists with all these great inventions, why isn't synchronicity? Why isn't life in the labyrinth? Why isn't life in the garden of the mortals? Why isn't that synchronicity good enough for you and me? Why are they special? Why can't we get ourselves a good helping of serendipity, of chance occurrence, of improvisation in our lives? Here's a scientist. Oh, yeah, by the way, the most destructive thing in the universe is a black hole. And I make them every day now before lunch in my laboratory. And I figured out how to do it because I was taking out the trash. Really? They get all these great synchronicities, all these serendipities, all these shots at chance, but you and I don't? We can't believe about that in our lives? That the next left and right in the labyrinth at this moment in all of time reshuffles the labyrinth for us in an instant when we make a conscious decision to go, yes, this is a part of my headline for today. This, right here, right now, this instant, all the time. No carrot at the end of the stick. No blinders. This instant and all in time is a part of my headline for the day. The labyrinth totally shifts. Now, if you need any more reason to think that I'm absolutely crazy, would you ever go out in the middle of an open field, close your eyes, and just make random left and right-hand turns? Just to see. And maybe you do it for 20 seconds. You go, all right, I'm out in the middle of the field. I'm going to close my eyes. And for the next 20 seconds, I'm going to make 20 random turns. Now, don't have your mind focus on where you're going to end up. Just make the random turns, make them fast enough so that you're not calculating, okay, I was heading this way, right? So we're not going to do any inner orienteering. It's not the way we orient ourselves to what we find in the labyrinth, like we spoke about in the open. But just let yourself go. And I'm always, a smile instantly pops to my face when I open my eyes 20 turns later and I see which direction I'm headed. That's the chance. That's the synchronicity. When we adopt that little mind game, that visual exercise, when we adopt that in life, and we go, let me see where I end up. Now, I understand people are absolutely comfortable wrapped in their goals, in their bucket list, in their to-do list, where they see themselves 5 or 10 years down the road. You don't want to throw that out? I'm with you. I'm asking for 20 minutes, 1/72 of your day. If finding a black hole by accident was good enough for this scientist overseas, why isn't it good enough for us? Why can't you and I go, hey, I'm on the cusp of greatness, and figure out what the next left or right, the up or down, the start, the stop, the lunge, the lapse, whatever it is, the pivot, the swerve. Why can't that hold the next portion of our headline in the labyrinth? And the answer is, it most certainly does. We're just busy saying that those types of things only happen to scientists, only happen to doctors, only happen to celebrities, only happen to rock stars, only happen to somebody else, only happen to the lucky few, only happen to this group over there. Oh, how about that group over there? But the truth, you want the reality of it all? It's good enough for you. And when we live life by the improv, life throws us all kinds of improv. And the better we get, the more we do this, the sooner we begin, stronger we become. When we think like we mean it, when we know in that particular moment that okay, everyone wants to have a goal. You want my goal? You want to know what the goal is? Okay, here's my confession. Forget everything I said about goals. Forget everything. I'm a huge fan of goals. I can't even say it. I'm a huge fan of goals. It was a little caveat. One goal. You want my goal? You want to know what I think a goal should be? To get your grade out. Any other goal? Carrot on the end of the stick. Take the carrot, make a juice. Put some mint in it. I'm told that's good. And the only goal that I can envision as important in the life of a human mind is to get your grade out. Someone said to me the other day, I heard a commercial, and the name of the commercial is Let Your Grade Out. Well, if it were easy enough to just let it out, everyone would be doing it. There wouldn't be any blind spots. There wouldn't be any apathy or atrophy or amnesia. If all I had to like I'm unbutton my shirt like I'm Superman, coming out, Wonder Woman, coming out of the hallway, right? And all of a sudden my superhuman uniform, all I got to do is tear the buttons open on my shirt and there's the big S on my chest. So if that easy, everyone would be doing it. But what makes you and I special? What makes you and I a rare breed? What makes you and I elite? People can go, oh, well, Brian thinks you're elite. Yes, I do. And if they don't like it, what do I say all the time? If they don't like it, no sense telling them to go to hell. They're already in hell. Just ignore them. But you are elite. If you decide, you know what, it's going to take a little effort. I have to go in and get, not let my grade out, like a spring that I was going to boing. But I got to go in and get my grade out. How do you and I go in and get our grade out? Orienteering, inner orienteering. Squaring our shoulders to whatever the labyrinth of life throws at us. Being thankful, being grateful that we're here in the garden of the mortals. That we know where we are. We know who we are. And we know what we're going to do about it. And when it comes to forgiveness, when it comes to compassion, let's look at compassion first. When it comes to compassion, that's the ultimate ground of compassion. Because if you and I understand that going in and getting our all-natural being, getting our great out, if we realize that's an active endeavor while everyone else is sitting on the couch, a cognitive couch potato, don't even care about cognitive cutting edge, just a cognitive couch potato, waiting. Right? Just sitting around, waiting one day to be happy, waiting one day to be fulfilled, waiting one day to be successful, waiting one day for somebody to love us, waiting for any of the rest of that, waiting. Why wouldn't you and I have compassion for that mindset? When you know who you are, the great-grandchild of the divine, however you define it, and you know where you are in the labyrinth of life, and you look around, and you see all the people that are just content, comfortable in their own bubble wrap. They don't want to be delusional. They want to follow the crowd. They want to live in the hive.
Well, you know, the honey tastes pretty sweet in here. Honey tastes pretty sweet. We'll just stay in the hive.
They want to live in the herd. How can you not have compassion for that? That's elitist, tough crap. That, if someone's going to take offense to that because I think you're a rare breed, and if they decide to sit on the sidelines, they leave their soul over there, they don't call it in, they don't like that because I think that makes them other than their all-natural being. Tough crap again. You got to have someone like that in your life that you have compassion for, because life just doesn't seem to grab them by the spine. Life just doesn't seem to thrill them. How can you not have compassion? How can you not be grateful for the fact that you reconnected with your all-natural being? You don't like my term? Use your own. I'm good. They never quote me. Use your own term. But you know who you are in your heart. You know who you are in your spine. Thank you very much. 331-684-7685. I don't know. I just got a very nice text from someone. Today's show is really great. That's what the kids say for a great show. Is that a fire pit? I'm getting a little emoji. And I'm sorry. Remember, you can't spell Brian without the I in idiot. I don't understand the emoji, but thank you. It looks great. I love them. Very colorful. I'm either an exploding sun, a fire pit. I don't know what that is. But thank you very much. 331-684-7685, 331-684-SOUL. Oh, it's on fire. What a dope. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Today's show is on fire. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. It means on fire, dork. Yes, thank you. Can't spell. Well, I can't even spell dork without a letter in Brian, so what does that tell you? I'm a dork. Okay, so I don't want to get too far down the line, but thank you very much. It's on fire. Well, like the what was it in the cartoon movie Ice Age, where the sloth comes out after he's built and he goes, I have made fire. I don't remember the name of the actor. He's a great, funny guy. So thank you very much for that. Don't forget 331-684-7685, 331-684-SOUL. All we're talking about today is today the day you go in and get your grade out. Get your grade back in life. No more excuses. We talk, let's just do this. But since we're going to, it's never too late. Okay, let's just do this. We'll do a quick little intro. I'll grab a sip of water here. We'll be right back.
You're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. Because it's never too late to take your life back.
Yes, thank you very much. Before I get down another rabbit hole, John Leguizamo, I think is how it's pronounced. Just an absolutely funny guy. And he does the voice of the, thank you, Sue, very much. He does the voice of the sloth. I have made fire. Well, that's what you and I can tap into our own lives, because that fire sits in the grit of your spine, the marrow of your mind. And why I wanted to cue that little thing up right there is it's never too late for you and I. That's the beauty of modern neuroscience. What does it tell us? Oh, you're too old. Saw an article this morning that says, isn't it odd? Everyone's puzzled because like a 19-year-old probably wrote the article. But just stunned. Wow, older people seem to be happier. Well, because at a certain stage in our life, we realize we've been on the hamster wheel. We've been running around, bat crap crazy. And then we get to a certain stage and we go, yeah, you know what? I knew this all along. Everything I've ever needed, I've always had. We get to that point and we go, nah, that's pretty cool. And that's why I think we get to a certain age. But that certain age can happen at any time. That's the beauty of modern neuroscience. Every opportunity is the perfect opportunity for you to write your headline. And then people say,
well, I wrote a headline, and then I got on Twitter, a troll got a hold of me, and they wrote 10,000 bylines.
The hell with the bylines. Stick with the headline. Who reads the bylines anyways? Really? Truthfully? I mean, maybe some people. But not if you got a great headline. Bylines can say anything that they want. Let them say them. They're full of bylines. You write the headline, you do it with the ink from the sap, the marrow of your mind. You write it with that as the ink. What do you care what the byline says? People are full of bylines. Another article that I found really helpful. 3 effective ways to clear your mind. I thought, oh, okay, that's pretty interesting. Let's look at it. There you go. Picture, of a guy. Obviously, bat crap craziness swirling around. Here's one, and we were talking about this. I had a long conversation with my doctor the other day. Number 1 on this list is reducing digital distractions. I'm sorry, what? I looked away. I looked away at my cell phone. Exactly. It's talking about reducing the digital distractions.
I got to check in every 15 minutes.
And what my doctor was saying is like, you know what? You should think, you should contemplate, you should be a little careful about holding your cell phone up to your ear. Use an earpiece, a wireless, or I use the white one from the phone. Use it because we're just learning now about the effects of cell phone signals and Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi was another thing. She was like, wow. We got to watch out for that. So maybe reducing digital distractions outwardly is a good idea, maybe inwardly. Maybe we'll find out 25 years from now, like secondhand cigarette smoke or asbestos or any of these other things. Maybe we'll find out, wow, you know what? Wi-Fi wasn't the greatest thing in the world for us. So what we do, just in case it's of interest to anyone else, what we do is we kill the Wi-Fi at night in our house. No Wi-Fi. I'm not getting up during the middle of the night and seeing what somebody put up on Snapchat. Well, I'm good. Right? I'm good. I don't need to know. I'm sleeping. So we've just started killing the Wi-Fi signal. There's a little button on the thing. You push it and all the Wi-Fi goes down. Because some studies suggest that it's when we're asleep, like, if you got bodyguards, they're talking to the rest. Okay, we've put the eagle to sleep. The package is in the something. Target's under the covers, right? We put in the bed. What do the bodyguards do? They kick back, relax, smoke them if you got them, read a book, do whatever they're going to do. The bodyguards kind of stand down during the sleep time hours, set up a perimeter. Well, that's the same thing that happens in our bodies. And there's some doctors now that are researching, beginning to believe that when we shut down at the end of the day, or maybe during the day, depending if you work midnight to 8, you don't know. But when you shut down to get some shut eye, your body is vulnerable to Wi-Fi. Your body is vulnerable to radiation and cell phone signals and the like. So we just decided that when we're going to when we lie down, we're going to grab a quick 8. Hopefully that's what we get. You grab some quick sleep. We're just going to turn the Wi-Fi off. Because what if the doctors are right? And some of the research that I've been looking at, some of the people that I've been speaking with have said, well, even for little kids, we don't know yet what it's going to do. Right? Oh, if we can't see it, it can't hurt us. Like when we were little kids, if there was something we were afraid of, we'd hide, we'd avert our eyes. We'd pull our forearms up in front of our eyes. Well, if we can't see it, it can't hurt us. Well, maybe that's not true. So digital distractions, it may be on the inside and on the outside as well. All right, got a text 331-684-7685 like Dorothy and Oz. We have it in us all the time. Absolutely. You're all natural being. It doesn't take a break. Doesn't go on holiday. Your soul's always on the sidelines. Your soul doesn't decide, I'm still on the sidelines. Let me go hit the hot tub in the locker room. Never says that. No, your soul has never said, I think I'm going to go hit the hot tub. I think I'll go hit the ice bath. I think I'll go get a massage. Wait for halftime. Your soul never says that. It's always on the sidelines, ready to go. All I got to do is call it. It's ready to get in. Dun, dun, dun. Number 2, what does it say? Oh, exercise or take a walk in the park. I love it. Because we know when we connect to nature, we correct who we are. A little bit of readjustment, a little bit of reorienteering, a little bit of inner orienteering by orienting ourselves with the sunlight, with the fresh air, with the greens, with the trees, with the dirt under our feet. According to this particular article, studies also show that immediately following exercise, especially being out in the park, moving around, that problem solving, memory, and attention all improve. I like that idea for reduction of stress, spending some time outside. Why not? Third thing it says in here, and I caution because you say yoga and meditation. Well, for people into yoga, people into meditation, think it's absolutely great. For some of the rest of us, we go, yoga, that sounds like it's hard to learn. A lot of sweat, a lot of just like playing Twister, right? The limbs torqued everywhere. Meditation, everyone was just like, well, meditation, that sounds like there's a really heavy-duty religious component to that. I don't know about that meditation stuff. So let's just say if you do yoga and meditation, God love you. If you don't, what are we talking about? Yoga, moving around, swinging your arms in the air, make some hand circles. I get up every morning, early in the morning. I go out in the front yard. I do some hand circles, move around a little bit. Some would call it a kata. Some would call it some martial arts moves. I just call it running around with my hands in the air. Get a little bit of blood pumping. But when we do that, and then we remember the best acronym. Talk about going in and getting your best back out. Go in and get your great out. When we do that type of breathing, and we're doing it moving around a little bit, there's your top 3. There's your top 3. And this works whether you're an athlete, blowing out some of the carbon, whether you're an entrepreneur, a business professional. Everyone's worried, all that new age stuff. I'm with you. No new age about it. This is old age stuff. Old. Nothing wrong with the old. Ancient wisdom. Let's not buy into the snake oil. Oh, well, we've got some really new stuff here. I'm good. We'll stick with the old stuff. A little bit of movement does the body good. A little bit of breathing does the body good. And if you and I do that, then we don't have to worry. We don't have to be distracted about, what do I got to do to learn yoga? Again, if you have time and you can do it and you're moved, God love you. If you don't have time and you're not moved and you don't want to do it, you and I can get the same benefit. And maybe that puts us in the perfect position to go, all right, I tried Brian's version. I tried the running around in my front yard while the sun's still down before anybody gets up to see me. Do you know what? Maybe I should put up a picture of it sometime. But I went over to Home Depot or Menards or wherever I went, and I purchased 2 little orange, I don't know if you would call them roofing hammers, but they're like orange plastic hammers. They're covered in plastic, but they're weighted at the end, and I do arm circles just to loosen up some of my shoulders, loosen up my neck. Another one, I'll just tell you, I call it the didgeridoo and the sledgehammer. I spent a little bit of time on the didgeridoo, and I have a sledgehammer. I probably bought it at the same store, but I go over and I have a sledgehammer based on whatever weight you want to start with. I have a sledgehammer. I grab hold of it almost like a golf club. Imagine that if you would, or maybe even like a baseball bat. And I do circles around my head. Get my shoulders, my neck, my upper body. Just get everything moving. Get some synovial fluid pumping in. Get some blood pumping in. That's my yoga. I may do a snap kick or two from time to time. It's in my blood. I've been doing this for handful of years. But the bottom line, the yoga is just getting your body out, getting some blood going to the muscles. Just like I say all the time, your brain digs breathing just as much as your lungs do. Your body digs movement just as much as your mind does. So if you want to, if you're under a doctor's care right now, just make sure. Here's the thing. Just don't drop the sledgehammer on your foot. Make sure you get a good grip. That's all. And when you do the little hammers, I think these things are 3 pounds, maybe 4 pounds. They don't need to be much more than that. But just move them around so you're getting some blood. You're putting your muscles through their natural range of motion. And that's the precursor to putting your mind through its natural range of motion. Because ultimately, that's all we talk about here on All Natural Being. What can you and I do right now as tag team, as partners? What can we do to restore our mind's natural range of motion? That's all we're doing. Emily Dickinson, the poet, the brain is wider than the sky. Couldn't agree more. What do we got to do to return our brains to their natural range of motion? I have to tell you, and I can see we're getting ready to go. I have to tell you that once I read that quote years and years and years ago, that was the beginning of my belief in the labyrinth. It's wider than the sky because our brain is incorporate of that. It's the labyrinth. That's life in the labyrinth. It's having the courage for around the corner when you can't see around the corner. It's squaring your shoulders to whatever confronts you in the garden of the mortals. And when you do that, to quote my good friend, if I had your text right now, I'd be sending you a little emojis of fire. Then you're on fire. So is it Friday already? Good golly, we got the weekend coming up. So this weekend, be your own best friend. Get off your own back. Be your own biggest fan for 20 minutes. Move a little more physically than you've moved this week. Breathe a little more than you have the rest of this week. Go over the top 10 things that you're thankful for before you fall asleep. Maybe throw in the top 10 people that you want to be compassionate for. You're like, they got a lazy lounger. They got their feet up. They're comfortable. They're couch potatoes. I'm never going to be able to do anything. Just have a little bit of compassion. That would be a great way. And then if you want to, since it's the weekend, you got another top 10. Let's do 3 top 10s. Let's talk about what we're grateful for, who we're compassionate, who we're going to share compassion towards, and then who do we forgive? Because ultimately, that's the key of today's anaerobic aphorism. Too much trivial. So what do? Let's just forgive it. Let's think of the top 10 people that we can forgive. Because when we forgive it, it's just like working out, moving your body around, getting some blood flowing, some synovial fluid back flowing to your brain. Because when it doesn't count, it's of no account. And when you've channeled your all-natural being, what do you got to hold a grudge about? 3 top 10 lists. Gratitude, compassion, and forgiveness. It's of no account. Just forgive them. They didn't touch your all-natural being. They may have grabbed your ego by the throat, but they didn't touch your all-natural being. You and I both know that. So you can work on the top 10 people that you're going to forgive. That's a hat trick that's going to make you happy. I promise you. I absolutely promise you. If you take the time this week and get 48 hours, what do you care? 48 hours to give yourself 20 minutes. You're going to be a lot happier. All right, my friends, I got a bolt. Love you. Talk to you Monday morning. Don't forget, if you need me, 331-684-7685. I'll leave this on even if the show isn't on. And also allnaturalbeing.com. Send me an email. I'll send you one back. Have an absolutely fantastic weekend. I sure hope today's Friday, because that close would have been really powerful. But if today's Thursday, I'm going to be like, Brian, will you check your calendar before you go on air, please?
You've been listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy.
Join us live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern.
Also, check us out around the clock at allnaturalbeing.com.
Until then, always remember to bring your own bold.
Bring your own bold. Get out there and make this weekend a blast.
IPMNation.com.